Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the 2017 limited edition of 250 pieces Panerai Radiomir 8-Day PAM00735 in titanium. You can see this Panerai Boutique limited edition with olive green dial on our website. Purchase it there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Panerai Radiomir 8 days. Now, the PAM00735 was part of a trio of olive drab green dial watches that debuted in 2017 expressly for Panerai boutiques. This watch, with the 8-day power reserve and the traditional wire lug Radiomir case, might be aesthetically the purest of the lot. It's also the one that's most directly tied to the original combat Panerai watches, to which the olive drab military green dial pays tribute, being essentially the 3646 of the 1930s and 40s, updated for the modern era with titanium case, manufacture movement, and a dial with miles of style, yet visibly linked to the historic forebear. On my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, it's an easy watch to wear despite being deliberately oversized. Remember, some of these vintage Panerai watches were designed to actually be worn over wetsuits or dry suits, so the idea that they would look oversized on a bare wrist isn't just a consequence of the design, it's become expected by the Paneristi fans of the brand. Now, my 16 centimeter wrist wears the 45 millimeter cushion case well, and you really do need to think of it as basically a square. The lugs project beyond the case, but not far. 53 millimeters lug to lug for a 45 millimeter case is quite reasonable. Effectively, they're only there to suspend the strap around the edges of your wrist, and because the strap has completely unfettered movement around the wire lug profile, you can bend that strap down easily around a small wrist. I believe you could actually wear this watch securely on a wrist as small as 14.5 centimeters circumference. Part of that is aided by the lightness of the titanium, which is not only wieldy on the wrist, but also hypoallergenic for those of you who worry about nickel allergies. The watch is thick, no doubt about it, but it's a manageable 15.7 millimeters with a generously sloped case and a conical bezel profile, so while it won't fit underneath a dress sleeve, it will fit beneath the suit jacket cuff. The watch has a wonderfully substantial sheer-cut calfskin strap. As you can see, it has a little bit of a distressed look to it with simulated patina, contrasting stitch, the 1970s style Panerai OP logo embossed, and the coloration of the loom, which is ecru or simulated radium patina, to give you a little of that historic inspired warmth, is nicely matched to the color of the thread used. Of course, it is the same material on both sides, a light brown calfskin, and it's matched with an oversized trapezoidal satin finished Panerai pin buckle for quick on-the-fly adjustments. The case features a satin finish, and it contrasts with the polish of the wire-style lugs, which I should mention are removable by removing the screws. It's not like the old PAM00735 or the combat divers. You don't have to cut the strap to take it off. It can be removed with a conventional screwdriver tool. And as you can see, the polish of the wire lugs and the polish of the bezel are the only metallic contrasts with the subdued satin finish of the case. The dial is handsome, and the dial is wonderfully subtle, as at first glance it could be a gray or a slate, but the color does come out. As you focus on it, you find that there's a range of richness. There's the ecru coloration of the sandwich dial loom, which is beneath the stencil on top of a fully loomed disc. That's what a sandwich dial is in Panerai speak. There's a loomed disc that is the color of the loom paint underneath a full stencil that is the dial you see. You'll also note that the ecru gives way to a richer, warmer gold coloration, as we have 18 karat gold fully loomed hands for hours, minutes, and seconds. There's a subtle and inverted cyclops eye. It's not like a Rolex cyclops eye. It is beneath the crystal to allow you to read the monotone olive drab green date disc. Now, it is an 8-day power reserve, and the watch tells you as much. At 6 o'clock, the power reserve itself, the indicator, is on the back, enabled by 3 mainspring barrels, 2 of which are stacked. We'll talk about that in a moment. The crown is a screw-down unit, and in the style of the original Radiomirs, the 3646, back when Radiomir was the name of the paint and 3646 was the name of the model, they used large inverted crowns that were actually wider at their outer circumference as they moved away from the case. So a conical crown with a reverse profile and deep knurling screws out to allow you to set the watch. Now you can set it conventionally, and you'll note that it features hacking or stop seconds, but it features more than that. As you'll note, when I pull the crown out to hack the movement, the caliber 2002/9, it actually resets the seconds hand to zero the index and allow precise setting against a reference time. Now, there's more functionality built in. Let's say I'm traveling and I don't want to quite stop the watch, but I want to set my hour hand as I jump over different time zones. Well, I have that functionality. Thread out the crown entirely, and now I can move in 1 hour increments. As you'll note, I can drive the date disc forward or backwards as I jump the international date line with no hazard to the movement. Moreover, you'll note that the seconds hand continues to move, as does the minute hand. This does not affect the chronometric precision of the watch, so you can travel easily with this watch. So you have the interesting zero reset system, the time zone functionality, the subtle date window, and when you turn it all over, it is a Panerai manufacturer caliber. As I mentioned earlier, and let's see if we can get a little bit closer for detail. It is a Panerai manufacturer caliber 2002/9, 23 jewel manual wind, 3 mainspring barrels. You can just see underneath the first barrel bridge that 2 of them are actually stacked. That's how they get 3 barrels into this expanse of movement. Now the bridge structure is designed to echo the 3/4 plates of the historic Panerai divers. They would have had a true monoplate, a 3/4 plate over the entire train as well as the bridge and the keyless works. Here we have a 3/4 style, the bridge components split into 3, made easier for removal during servicing. So you can see there is a case back blued hand with loom for the power reserve scale, showing 8 days. A full balance with a free-sprung index makes the watch very shock resistant. It beats away at a modern 28,800 vibrations per hour, and the watch does enjoy, thanks to the screwed-in case back and screw-down crown, 100-meter water resistance. You will want to put it on a separate strap, however, to enjoy the full benefit of that versatility. The movement is mostly mechanically finished, but it's handsomely executed with beveled edges to the bridges. It is a machined anglage, and you'll note that there's a rich linear satin grain across the surfaces, which is nicely aligned across the bridges. You'll also note that the screw heads have been polished, and a similar machine-applied anglage has been applied to the jewel sinks. It's a very handsome movement, and far better than any Italian commando of the mid-century crawling through the mud could ever have imagined. This is a watch that hits on all cylinders. Enough of the historic cues to maintain the iconic look, enough modern refinement to confirm that this is a luxury product, and sophistication for the movement snob, something that's not universal among Panerai watches. The PAM00735 hits on all cylinders. See it and decide for yourself on our website. Okay, you're looking at the Panerai PAM00735, the Radiomir 8-day. Green dial, equally green at night. It's a big green machine day or night. And you can see the unique decision to put a loomed hand on the caseback power reserve makes for a unique, if puzzling, sight. This is the Panerai PAM00735, one of 250 made for the 2017 model year.